Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about one of the most powerful tool in Python, NumPy. Don't worry if you are new to programming or just getting started with data manipulation. I will explain everything step by step. So, grab your notebook and let's dive into the world of NumPy. Okay, so now let's understand our first slide in which we are going to see what is NumPy. Okay, so let me give you an example. Okay, imagine you are building a Lego tower. Okay, using individual Lego blocks is slow and tidy. But what if you have pre-built Lego pieces that were bigger and easier to work with? So NumPy is like that for Python. Instead of working with small, slow Python list, NumPy gives you super fast tools to handle with numbers, arrays, and even large datasets easily. So now let's talk about its definition. Okay. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. Okay. It's a library in Python that helps us perform in mathematical and scientific operations with arrays. So now think of arrays as supercharged lists that are faster, smarter, and more flexible. So now let's talk about its key features. Okay. So the number one is it can handle multiple dimensional arrays, not just like lists. Okay. And second point is it is optimized for speed and efficiency. And the third point is it is the foundation for advanced libraries like Pandas, TensorFlow, and SciPy. Okay. So now let's come to the next slide of our NumPy. So why use NumPy? Okay. Why is NumPy such a big deal? Let's break it down. So the number one point is speed. Python lists are like bicycle, but NumPy arrays are like a super fast car. They run super fast because they are implemented in C, which is closer to the hardware of your computer. Second point is efficiency. With NumPy, you can handle huge datasets. It's like being able to store 100 books in the space of 10. So the third point is mathematical power. You can perform complex operations like matrix, statistical calculations, and more in just a few lines of code. And the last point is real world use. Whether you are working on data science, machine learning, or even a game development, NumPy is everywhere. Okay? I think that you have got my point. So now let's move into the next slide. That is installation. It's time to install the NumPy in your system. So for this, now open your VS Code. Okay. So now let's open your VS Code. So here I'm going to make a new Python file, or I can make Jupyter file, Jupyter notebook. Now that you know what NumPy is and why it is so important, let's learn how to get started. Okay. So step 1, open your terminal or command prompt. Okay. So I am going to use here. So I'm going to use command prompt. Okay. In your computer, open the terminal for Mac Linux user or command prompts for Windows user. Okay. This is where the magic happens. So, the second step you have to do is, so now if you have already installed Python, then just write this pip install numpy. Okay, pip install numpy. Okay, it will start downloading. Already satisfied. Okay, I have already downloaded. Okay, so now let's verify installation. Once it is installed, make sure numpy is ready to go by typing this into Python. Okay, so for this, now I'm going to import numpy is np. Okay, np here is alias. Okay, so then after print np dot hyphen version, and then again. Okay, so now let's run this cell. Okay, I have 2.1.0 okay version of numpy. So now the last step is start coding. That's it. You are now ready to explore the amazing world of NumPy. Okay. So now let's quick recap. Okay. Before we move forward, let's quickly review what we have learned so far. Number one is NumPy is library in Python for fast numerical operations. Second point is it is faster and more efficient and ideal for handling large datasets. And the last we did installing NumPy. Installing NumPy is as simple as running the command, that is pip install NumPy. In the next session, we will learn how to use NumPy to create arrays, perform operations, and make data manipulations super easy. So stay tuned and get ready to level up your Python skills. Okay, so now let's move into the another important section of NumPy, that is NumPy basics. Okay, now we will learn the basics of NumPy, how to get started creating arrays and explore their attributes. These are the building blocks of everything you will do with NumPy. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first step we have to do is NumPy is importing. Okay, importing our NumPy. So as I already told you or shown you, so let me show you again. But let me make it mark down. Here we are going to importing NumPy. Okay, importing NumPy. Let me correct this. Importing NumPy. Okay. So yes, importing NumPy. So before we can start using NumPy, we need to import in our Python program. Think of it like opening a toolbox before building something. The tools are there, but we can't use them unless we open the box first. So for this, use the simple code. Okay, use a simple line of code, that is import NumPy as np. Okay, now let's run. Okay, we use the abbreviation np to save the time while typing. Instead of typing NumPy every time, we will use np. Okay, so let me show you how we will see. So after importing, let's test np dot version. Okay, np dot version. So now let me print it. np dot version. I want to check. So the NumPy version in my system is installed is 2.1.0. Okay. So now let's come to the our next slide in which we are going to see. Okay. So now it's time to creating arrays. Okay. So now let's come to the our VS Code and let's see how we can create an arrays. So now that we have imported NumPy, let's learn how to create arrays. Arrays are the heart of NumPy. They are like the super efficient data. They are like super efficient containers for data. Okay. So let's see. First we are going to create, okay, 1D array. So now let me give markdown. Okay. We are going to creating 1D array. Okay. So now run the cell. Then after, okay. So let me give what is 1D array. A 1D array is just like a simple list, but with superpowers. So let me show you how we can create 1D array. You just have to create a variable called arr. Okay. Then call np.array. Okay. And then pass as your choice. Okay. 10. Let me give 20, 30, 40. Okay. Then after you have to just print r. Okay. Array. Okay. So now, okay. So here we have 1D array. Okay. In the same way, we will now create 2D array. Okay. So for this, let me give markdown. Okay. Now we are going to creating 2D array. Okay, 2D arrays. So let me give hash. Okay, okay. So as we created 1D array, in the same way we have to create 2D array. Okay, but there is something new. Okay, so first let me define arr equals to np dot array. Then here we will pass 1 comma 2 comma 3, and again we will again pass another list. Here we will pass 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, now close it. Okay, so here we have created our 2D array. So now let's print our array. Okay, so as you can see that we have a 2D array as one element is 1 2 3 and second element is 4 5 6. Okay, because in this we have a list inside of list. Okay, so now let's come to the some built-in functions. Okay, now we are going to see some. Let me write using built-in function. Okay, built-in functions. Now we are going to use built-in functions. NumPy makes it very easy to create arrays filled with zeros, ones, and even random numbers. So now let's see how we can use these built-in functions. Okay, so first of all we are going to make zero arrays. Okay, so we are going to make zero arrays. Okay, I am going to write 0. I am going to write 0 equals to np dot 0. Okay, zeros. Here I will pass 3x4. Okay, filled with zeros. A 3 by 4 array filled with zeros. Okay, so let me pass 3 comma 4. Okay, so print 0. Print now 0. So okay, let me correct this zeros. So here you can see that we have 3 columns by 4 rows. So here you can see that we have output of 3 rows by 4 columns. Okay, so in the same way we can make ones array. Okay, so now let's see what is ones array. So for this let me mark down ones array. Okay, so now let's make. I'm going to give ones equals to np dot ones. Okay, so this time I will give the coordinates 2 by 2. 2 by 2. Okay, it will give now 2 by 2 array. Okay, so print once. Print once. So here we have the 2 rows as well as 2 columns of matrix. Okay, now you are thinking that can we make empty array? Yeah, of course. So now let's see how we can make empty arrays. Okay, so this time we are going to make empty arrays. Okay, so I have given the heading. So now let's write with me. Empty equals to np dot empty, in which I will pass 2 by 3. Now print empty. So here we have empty arrays. Okay. Okay. So now let's come to this slide. Okay. So the key point is these arrays save time, especially when working with large data sets. Okay, so now let's move into the next slide in which we are going to see array attributes. Okay. So in which we are going to see shape of the array, number of dimensions and size of the array and the last data type of elements. Okay. So now let's understand first shape of the array. So for this I am going to use my VS Code. Okay. So now let me give the heading shape of the array. So mark down and I will pass shape of the array. Okay. Array. Now that we know how to create arrays, let's explore their attributes. Think of attributes as an characteristics of an array. Okay. So the first is shape of the array. So now let's understand what is shape of the array. The shape tell us how many rows and columns are an array has. Okay. So let me first create an array np dot array. Okay. Now I will pass 1 comma 2 comma 3 and then after again in another element I will pass 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay. So we have created an array. So now I am going to print array dot shape. Okay. Let's see what comes. Okay. It gave me 2 by 3 means 2 rows and 3 columns we have in our matrix. Okay. So now this means the array has 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay. So now let's come to the number of dimensions. So let me write number of dimensions. Okay. So number of dimension means ndim attribute tell us the number of dimension an array has. So now let's see how can we find. So for this we have to just print array dot number of dimension. Okay. So here you can see that we have 2 dimension. Okay. Because we have 2 elements 1 2. Okay. It is 2D. So a 1D has 1 dimension while a 2D will have 2 dimension. Okay. So now let's come to the third, that is size of the array. Okay. So now let's come to the third one, that is size of the array. So let me give size of the array. Okay. So now the size attributes tell us the total number of elements in arrays. Okay. So now let's see how can we find. So I'm going to run the command print array dot size. Okay. Now so it means we have 6 elements in our array, as you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. So now let's come to the next point, that is data type elements. Okay. Data type of elements. So let me write data type of elements. Every array has a specific type of data type for its element. Use the D type attributes to find what it is. Okay. So now let's see. I'm going to check the data type of array. Okay. Print array dot D type. So now let's run. So it means we have integer in our matrix. Okay. For decimal, it will show float. Okay. So now let's come to the our slide. Okay. Now we are going to see why are these basics important. Okay. So let me answer this. Understanding these basics like learning the alphabet before writing words. Okay. Whether you are manipulating data, performing calculations or analyzing data sets, arrays are your foundation. Knowing their attributes makes much easier to work with them. So that's all for the NumPy basics. Don't forget to practice these basics and I will see you in next topics. Okay. So now let's dive into one of the most fundamental parts of working with NumPy, that is creating arrays. Okay. Arrays are the core data structure in NumPy, and learning how to create them effectively will make your data analysis and manipulation task much smoother. We will look various ways to create arrays in NumPy. Okay. So now starting from basics arrays to advanced methods. Okay. So let's begin. So for this, let's open your VS Code. Okay. So now let's open your VS Code. So now here I am going to provide the markdown, or you can say title. What we are going to do is that creating arrays. Okay. Now we are going to create arrays. Okay. So the first array we will create using the help of list. Okay. So let me give the creating an array from a Python list or tuple. Okay. Or tuple. So now let's create. So the simplest way to create a NumPy array by converting a Python list or tuple into an array. Okay. So let's see how this works. Okay. So first of all, let's import NumPy as np. Okay. Then after, let's create a list called mylist. Mylist equals to, now let's create 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 and 5. Okay. Then after, let's convert it into a NumPy array. Okay. So my array, let me give a variable, my array equals to np dot array. Now pass my list. Okay. Now pass my list. Okay. My list. Okay. So now let's print NumPy array. NumPy array. Okay. My array. Okay. So now let's run. So here you can see that we got our array as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now let's understand the code, what we did actually. So here we imported NumPy using alias np. Then after, we created a simple Python list, mylist, okay, containing 5 elements. Then after, we used the NumPy array function, which converted the list into a NumPy array and stored it in myArray. And when we print it, we get a NumPy array that looks like similar to a list, but it's more powerful and efficient. So let's understand key difference. Okay. Unlike Python list, NumPy arrays support advanced mathematical operations directly and are more memory efficient. You can also convert tuples into array in the same way. So now let's come to our next point, that is using NumPy function to create array. Okay. So now let's see. First, I am going to give the markdown. Now we are going to using NumPy functions to create an array. Okay. Okay, so now let's run. NumPy offers several built-in functions to create array quickly. These functions save time and are especially useful for initializing arrays with specific patterns. So let's explore some of them. Okay. So the number one we have, let me give, creating an array of zeros. Okay. So now we are going to create zeros array. Okay, zeros array. So we have to just write np dot zeros. Now we have to pass the number. I will pass 5. Then print array of zeros. Okay, now print 0 array. Okay, so now let's run this set. So here we have arrays of zeros, okay, in which we have 5 elements. So now let's understand the code what np.zeros does. Okay, the np.zeros function contains 5 inside it, which creates an array filled with 0 elements. And here we passed 5 as the argument, which means we want an array with 5 elements all set to 0. Okay, so now let's come to the another word, that is b. Okay, that is b, creating an arrays of ones. Okay, so now let's create team and creating an arrays of ones. Okay, so now let's see how we can create an arrays containing 1. So for that we have to just write ones array, or you can make another variable ones array. You can make another array ones array equals to np dot ones. Now pass, I will pass 2 comma 3. Okay, now print array of ones. Okay, array of ones. Now ones array. So now let's run this it. So here we have an array of ones. Okay, so now let's understand what the code actually does. Is the np.ones function works similarly, but it fills the array with ones. Here we specify the shape as 2 by 3, which creates a 2 by 3 matrix filled with ones. Okay, so now let's come to the next point, in which we are going to create an empty array. Okay, creating an empty array. Okay, so now let's see. So we have to just give the name empty array. Okay, np dot empty. Okay, now pass 2 by 2. Okay, now print empty array. Okay, now let's print the empty array. Now let's run this cell. Okay, so here we have our empty array. Okay, so now let's understand the code. The np.empty function creates an array without initializing its value. This means the array will contain whatever data happens to be in that memory location. So the value machine random. Okay, so now let's come to the our third point, that is using np.arrange and np.line space. Okay, so now let's come. So let me give the markdown. Okay, using np.arrange and np.line space line space. Okay, when you need a sequence of numbers, np.arrange and np.line space are your go-to functions. So let's look at both in detail. Okay, so the first one we are going to use using a np.arrange. Okay, we are going to use np.arrange function. Okay, so let's create an array, range array. Okay, now pass np.arrange. Okay, arrange. Here I will pass 1 comma 10 comma 2. Okay, now let's print array using arrange. Okay, arrange. So now let's write range array. So it's time to run this cell. Okay, so now let's run. Okay, so here we have array using arrange. Okay, we got from 1 to 10 by the gap of 2. Okay, so now let's understand the code. Okay, the np.arrange function creates an array with, here we specified a start of 1 and end of 10 and a step of 2. Okay, this means the array will include numbers starting from 1 and incrementally by 2 up to, but not including 10. Okay, so now let's come to the our next step, that is using np.line space. Now we are going to using np.line space. Okay, now let's first of all let's create an array, line space array equals to np.line space. Now pass 0 comma 1 comma 5. Okay, so now let's write after this print array using line space. Okay, now print line space array. So it's time to run this cell. Okay, so now let's run. So here we have array using line space. Okay, so now let's understand the code. The np.linespace function is similar, but instead divides a range into a specified number of evenly spaced points. Here we created an array from 0 to 1 with 5 equally spaced value. Okay, so now let's come to the our next array, in which we are going to create a random array. Okay, so let me give the markdown. Creating random array. Okay, so the numpy also provides functions for generating random numbers, which are very useful in simulation, machine learning and testing. So let's explore things. Okay, now we are going to use np.random. Okay, now let's create an random array equals to np.random. Okay, dot rand. Okay, I will pass 4. Okay, now print random array. Now print random array, random array. Okay, so now let's run this cell. Okay, so we have an array which contains random numbers. Okay, so now let's understand the code. The np.random.rand functions generates random numbers uniformly distributed between 0 and 1. Okay, here we created an array with 4 numbers. So now let's come to the next function, that is np.random.randint. Okay, so now let's create random integer equals to np.random dot random integer. Okay. Now I will pass 1 comma 10 comma and I will provide this size 3 by 3. Okay. 3 by 3. Now let's print random integer numbers. Okay. So now print random integer. Okay. So now let's run this cell. Let me check. Okay. Yes. So here we have random integer number arrays. Okay. So the np.random.randint function generates random integer in a specified range. Here we created a 3 by 3 array with random integers between 1 and 10. Okay. So now let's come to our slide. Now let's see what we are going to learn. Okay. So this time we are going to learn factoring arrays. Okay. So now let's see, in which we are going to see shape of the array, size of the array and data type of elements. Okay. So now that we know to how to create arrays, so now let's learn how to inspect them. Inspecting arrays allow us to understand their structures and properties, such as their shape, size and data type. So now let's come to the VS Code one more time. Now let me give the markdown. This time we are going to inspecting arrays. Okay. So the first we are going to do is checking the shape and size, checking the shape and size of the array. Okay. Of the array. So let's create an array example equals to np dot array. Now pass 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma pass 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay. Now let's check the shape. Okay. Check the shape. Print shape shape of the array. Okay. Array example dot shape. Okay. So now so we have the array of 2 by 3. Okay. Means it has 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay. So now let's check. So now let's check the size. Okay. Check the size. So again print size of the array. Now pass array example dot size. Okay. Now let's run. So the size we have 6. Okay. The size attribute gives us the total number of elements in the array. Okay. Which is 6 in this case. Okay. So now let's come to the checking data type. Okay. Let me write checking data type. Okay. Print data type. Print data type of array elements. Okay. Now here I will pass array example dot data type. Now let's run this cell. So the data type of array elements is int 64. So the data type attributes tells us the data type of the elements in the array. Here it is int64 because we used integer to create the array. Okay. So now let's come to the our slide. So to wrap up, we explored some of the most important ways to create arrays in NumPy. We started with converting Python list and tuples into arrays, moved on to using built-in function like np.zeros and np.linspace, and finally learned about random arrays. Then we learned how to inspect arrays to understand their properties. By mastering these steps, you have taken a significant steps toward becoming proficient with NumPy. So now let's move into the our next section in which we are going to learn array manipulation and operations. Okay. So now we are diving into one of the most fundamental concepts in working with arrays, indexing and slicing. You will have a clear understanding of how to access and manipulate data in arrays, whether they are 1D, 2D or even ND dimensional. So now let's see what we are going to learn in this. So the topics we will cover is accessing elements in 1D arrays, accessing elements in 2D arrays, and accessing elements in ND arrays. And then after we will see array slicing and subsetting, and the last Boolean indexing and filtering. Okay. So now let's understand one by one all of these. Okay. So first of all, I will go to my VX code. Okay. I will give the heading. So the first we will see is accessing 1D array. Okay. Accessing 1D array. So now let's create an array. Okay. Array 1D. np.array. Now pass the elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay. Now let's print 1D array. 1D array. Okay. Now prints 1D array. So here we have our 1D array 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 elements in there. So we have created an 1D NumPy array with 5 elements. Each element can be accessed using its index starting from 0. Now let's access individual elements. Okay. So for this, let's write a code. Print first element. Print first element. Now pass the index 0. Okay. I also want to print the last element. So print last element. Okay. That is 1D. Now write -1. Okay. So now let's run the cell. Okay. So the first element we have 10 and the last element we have 50. Okay. So array 1D 0 retrieves the first element of the array which is 10, and array 1D -10 retrieves the last element of the array using negative indexing. Okay. So now let's come to the next step in which we are going to see accessing elements in 2D arrays. Okay. Accessing elements in 2D arrays. So now let's see how we can access. So first of all, let's create an array. Okay. np.array. Okay. So now let's pass 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now again pass 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now let's print. Now print 2D. Okay. 2D array. Okay. Now prints AR 2D. Okay. So this time we have created a 2D array with 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay. Think of it as a matrix. Okay. So to access these elements in a 2D array, use the row and column index. Okay. So now let's see. So now let's print element at row 0 column 1. Okay. Now let's write 0 comma 1. Okay. It will give 1. Okay. So again print element at row 2. Okay. And column 2. Column 2. Okay. Now let's write AR 2D 2 comma 2. Okay. So now let's run the code. So here you can see that element at row 0 and column 1, here we have 2. So we got 2 means 9. That's why we got 9. Okay. So now let's understand what happened. Array big bracket inside we passed 0 comma 1, which retrieves the element in the first row and second column, which is 2, and array 2D, and inside we pass 2 by 2 comma 2, that retrieves the element in the third row and third column, which is 9. Okay. So now let's come to the next step that we are going to see is that accessing elements in ND array. Okay. Accessing elements in one ND arrays. For n-dimensional arrays, the concept is similar. Okay. So let's create a 3D array. Okay. So write with me. Array 3D equals to np.array. Okay. Now let's create 1 comma 2. Okay. Now comma 3 comma 4. Okay. 3 comma 4. Now let's close it. So now let's write 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. Okay. So now let's print. Now print. I want print 3D array. Okay. 3D array. Okay. So now print array 3D. So here we have our 3D array. Okay. So now let's understand. This is a 3D array with 2 blocks. Okay. Each containing 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay. So now let's see how we can access a 3D array. Okay. So for this, now print elements in block 0, row 1 and column 1. Okay. Column 1. Now print AR3D. Now pass 0, 1 and 1. Okay. So now let's print another one also. Okay. Print elements in block 1, row 0 and column 0. Okay, column 0. So now let's print array 3D 1 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, so now let's print. So here we have element in block 0 and row 1 and column 1 is 4. Okay, so the array 3D indexing 0 comma 1 comma 1 retrieves the element in the first block, second row and second column, which is 4. Okay, and array 3D indexing 1 comma 0 comma 0 retrieves the element in the second block, first row and first column, that is which is 5. Okay, so now let's come to the our next point, that is array slicing and subsetting. Okay, so let me give the markdown. Array slicing and subsetting. Okay, subsetting. So slicing is about extracting portions of an array. So let's see how this works in 1D array. Okay, so let me write slice 1 equals to AR 1D. Okay, now I want to slice it from 1 indexing to 4. Okay, so here we have our 1D. Okay, as you can see that, so it will I think give from 20 to 40. No, from 22 it will give 20 and 30 elements we will get. Okay, let's see. So let's print slice from index 1 to 3. Okay, now write slice 1. So array 1D 1 to 4 extract element from index 1 to 3, and the last index, which is 4, is exclusive. Okay, so now let's try for 2D arrays. Okay, let me write 2D array. Okay, so let's make a variable slice 2 equals to AR 2D. Okay, now let's 0 to 2 comma 1 to 3. Okay, now print slice of 2D array. Okay, slice of 2D array. So let's write slice 2. Okay, so here we have 2, 3 and 5, 6 elements. Okay, so array 2D index 0 to 2 and 1 to 3 extracts row 0 to 1 and column 1 to 2. Okay, the slicing applies to both dimensions. Okay, so now let's come to the our last point, that is Boolean indexing and filtering. Okay, so now let's come. So let me give the Boolean indexing and filtering. Boolean indexing allows us to filter elements based on conditions. For example, let me write filtered equals to, I will use array 1D. Now I will pass array 1D which is greater than 25. Okay, so now I will print elements greater than 25. Okay, elements greater than 25. Let me correct this. Elements greater than 25. Okay, So let me write filtered. So here we have three elements 30, 40 and 50 which is greater than 25. Okay. So here you can see that array 1D which is greater than 25. Okay. Creates a boolean array false, false, true, true, true. Okay. And then after applying this boolean array to array 1D filters out the element greater than 25. Okay. So now let's do for 2D array. Okay. 2D array filtered 2D equals to AR2D. Now pass AR2D percentage 2 greater than 0. Okay. Now print even even elements in 2D. Okay. 2D array. So let's write filtered. Okay. Now let's print it. So we have 2, 4, 6 and 8 elements. Okay. As our output. So now let's understand what this line actually do. Okay. It creates a boolean array that checks for even number and then the resulting array contains only the even elements. Okay. So now let's come to our slide. Okay. So till now we have learned how to access elements 1D, 2D and n-dimensional arrays using indexing, and then after how to extract subsets of array using slashing. And the last we saw how to use Boolean indexing for filtering elements based on conditions. These techniques are essential for working with data in NumPy arrays and form the foundation for data manipulation in Python. So now let's move into the next section of this video. Let's see what we are going to learn. Okay. Now we are going to see array operations. Okay. So now let's understand this. Now we are diving into some core concepts of NumPy. That is array operations. By the end of this slide, you will understand how to perform element-wise operations, how broadcasting works, and how to use aggregate functions in NumPy. So let's get started. So now we are going to learn in this, that is element-wise operations, broadcasting in NumPy, aggregate function. So let's understand one by one. Okay. So for this I am going my VS Code. Okay. So the first we have to understand is element wise operation. Okay. So let me give the markdown element wise operation. Okay. Operation. So element wise operations are performed between arrays of the same shape. They include basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So now let's see how we can do this. So for this, let's start coding. Okay. So first of all, we have to import our NumPy. Okay. Import NumPy as NP. Okay. After, let's create two arrays. Okay. Array 1 equals to np dot array. Okay. np dot array. Now pass 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now array 2 equals to np dot array. Now pass 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now it's time for the element wise addition. Okay. Element wise addition. So now let's add, make another variable, add result. Okay. Equals to array 1 plus array 2. Okay. So now let's print addition Add a result. Add result. So now let's write element wise subtraction. Subtraction. So sub result equals to array 1 minus array 2. Okay, array 2. Now print, let me make it up. Now print subtraction. Okay, subtraction. Okay, now let's write sub result. Okay, in the same way we will also do for multiplication and division. Okay, let's do element wise multiplication. Okay, now let's mul result. Okay, multiplication result equals to array 1 multiply by array 2. Okay, now print multiplication. Now pass mul result. Okay, so now let's doing for the division. Okay, element wise division. Okay, element wise division. So div result equals to array 1 okay, divide by array 2, then after print division. Okay, now let's write div result. So now let's run the code. So here we have addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, so here array 1 and array 2 have the same shape. When we use the plus operator, numpy adds corresponding elements and so on. The same logic applies for subtraction, multiplication and division. The results are stored in new arrays which we print on the console. Okay, so now let's come to the broadcasting in numpy. Okay, so let me give the markdown. Now we are going to see broadcasting in numpy. Broadcasting allows NumPy to perform operations on arrays with different shapes by stretching the smaller array to match the shape of the larger one. So now let's understand this with an example. Okay, so now let's create an array np dot array. Okay, now let's pass 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, now let me write scalar equals to 10. Okay, so now let's start broadcasting. Okay, let me give broadcasting. Okay, so scalar added to each element of the array. So now let's write broadcast broadcast result equals to array plus scalar. Okay, array plus scalar. So now let's print broadcasting with scalar. Okay, broadcasting with scalar. Okay, so now pass the broadcast result. Okay, so now let's do broadcasting with different arrays shape. Okay, so let me write broadcasting with arrays of different shapes. Array 3 equals to np dot array. Okay, now let's create np dot array. Now pass 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, comma, now pass 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, array 4 equals to np dot array. Now pass 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, okay, so now let's print. So now let's make a variable broadcast result 2 equals to array 3 plus array 4. Array 4. Okay, now let's print broadcasting with different shapes. Okay, broadcast result 2. Okay, so it's time to run our code. Okay, so here we have the broadcasting with scalar. It means it has added 10 to each element. Okay, so in the first example, a scalar value is 10 and it is added to every elements of the array. NumPy automatically broadcast the scalar to match the shape of array. Now in the second example, array 3 is a 2 by 3 array and array 4 is a 1D array with 3 elements. NumPy stretches array 4 along the rows to match the shape of array 3 and then perform element-wise addition. Broadcasting is a powerful feature for handling arrays of different shapes without needing to manually reshaping them. Okay, so now let's come to our slide. Now we are going to see aggregate function. Okay, so now let's understand. Now we are going to see aggregate function. So let me give the heading aggregate function. Okay, aggregate function. Okay, so first let's understand what is aggregate function. Aggregate functions compute a single value from an array by performing operations like summing up elements or finding the mean. These are incredibly useful for data analysis. So let's look at example. Okay, so now let's create a simple array np dot array. Okay, now pass 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 5. Okay, now let's print the sum of all elements. Okay, print sum np dot sum. Now print array. Okay, now print mean of all elements. Okay, so print mean. okay, np dot mean array, okay, np dot mean array. So now let's find median of all elements, okay. So print median, np dot median array, okay. Now find standard deviation, okay, standard deviation, okay. So now print standard deviation, np dot standard array, okay. Now let's print minimum value, okay. Print minimum okay, np dot min. Now pass array, okay. Now pass maximum value, okay. Print maximum, okay, np dot max. Now pass array, okay. So now let's run this cell. Let me check where np dot array, okay. Now let's run, okay. So here we have sum 50, mean 3, median 3, standard deviation 1.4 point, okay, and minimum 1 and the maximum 5, okay. So let's see. So in the array we have minimum 1 and the maximum we have 5, okay. So let's understand the code, okay. In this script, np.sum adds all the elements of the array, while np.mean computes the average. Similarly, np.median finds the middle value when the array is sorted, and np.standard calculates how spread out the elements are, which is useful for understanding variability. Finally, np.minimum and np.maximum give us the smallest and the largest value in the array respectively. So now let's come to our slide, okay. So we have covered three key aspects of NumPy array operations today. Number one is element-wise operations allows us to perform arithmetic between arrays of the same shape. Second one is broadcasting enables operations on arrays of different shapes by stretching the smaller array. And the third one is aggregate functions help us compute summary statistics like sum, mean, and standard deviation efficiently. Okay. So now let's come to our next part of this video. Okay. So now we are going to see reshaping and manipulating arrays, okay? So let's dive into the fascinating world of reshaping and manipulating arrays using NumPy. These techniques are crucial for any data scientist or developer working with numerical data. By the end of this session, you will have a strong grasp of reshaping, flattening, transposing, concatenating, and splitting arrays. So let's get started. So first of all, let's go to our VS Code, okay. So now let's give markdown here. So the topic we are going to cover is number one is reshaping, okay, reshaping arrays with dot reshape function, okay. So the reshape method is used to change the shape of an array without modifying its data. So let's see how it works with an example, okay. So let's create a 1D array, okay. Create a 1D array with 12 elements, okay. Array equals to np dot array, okay. So let me np dot arrange. Now I will pass 12. Okay. Now print original array. Original array. Okay. Now print original array. Array. Okay. Now let's reshape the array into a 3 by 4. 3 by 4. Okay. 3 by 4 matrix. So reshape array equals to array dot reshape. Now pass 3 comma 4. Okay. Now print reshaped array 3 by 4. Okay. 3 by 4. Okay. So now let's print reshaped array. Okay. So now let's run the cell. Okay. So here you can see that in the original array we have 12 elements. Okay. And when we reshaped it, it has become the matrix of 3 by 4. Okay. So now let's understand the code. np.arrange, it generates a 1D array with values from 0 to 11. Okay. And dot reshape 3 by 4 converts this 1D array into an 2D array with 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay. And the last, the data remains the same, only the structure changes. Okay. So now let's come to the next point. Okay. So now let's see what we are going to learn now. Okay. We are going to see flattening arrays with reval and flatten. Okay. So now let's come to our VS Code again. So now let's give the flattening array with dot reval method and flatten method. Okay. So flattening is the process of converting a multidimensional array into a 1D array. So let's explore two methods. Okay. So first of all, flattening using reval. Okay. Flattened reval equals to reshaped array dot reval. Okay. Reval. Now print flattened array using reval. Okay. Using reval. Now flattened reval. Okay. So now let's see the second method. Flattening using flatten. Okay. Now let's write flattened flatten. Okay. Equals to reshaped array dot flatten. Now pass. Okay. Now print flattened array using flatten. Okay. Using flatten. Now pass flatten. Okay, so it's time to run the cell. Okay, so now let's run. Is not defined. Let me check. Flattened revel. Okay, flattened. Okay, now let's run. Okay, so here we have our output. So dot revel method creates a flattened view of the original array. Any changes to the flattened array will affect the original array. Okay, and the second method dot flatten, it creates the copy of the original array. Changes to the flattened copy will not affect the original array. Okay, so now let's come to the our next topic that we are going to learn is transposing arrays with dot t. Okay, so now let's come to our VS Code. So let's first of all let's give markdown. Okay, now we are going to learn transposing array with dot t method. Okay, transposing swaps the row and column of an array. Okay, so here is an example. Okay, transposed array equals to reshaped array dot t. Okay, so now let's print transposed array. Now print transposed. Now print transposed array. Okay, array. So now let's run. Okay, now let's run. So now let's compare it with received array. Okay, so the first metric was 3 by 4. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, but when we used transposed method, it has become 4 by 3. As you can see that this time we have 4 rows and 3 columns. Okay, the dot t attributes flips the dimension of the array, and rows become columns and column becomes rows. And this operation is particularly useful in metric operations like finding dot product. Okay, so now let's come to the our next step, that is concatenating arrays. Okay, so let me give the markdown. Concatenating arrays. Okay, so we can combine multiple arrays using function like np.concatenate, np.hstack, and np.vstack. So let's see some example. So first of all, let's create two arrays. Okay, array 1 equals to np.array. So now let's pass 1 comma 2, 3 comma 4. Okay, array 2 equals to np.array. Now pass. Okay, 5 comma 6, 6, 7 comma 8, 7 comma 8. So now let's concatenate along rows. Okay, so let's write concatenated equals to np dot concatenate. Now pass array 1 comma array 2. Okay, array 2. Okay, and axis equals to 0. Okay, So print concatenated along rows. Okay. So now let's print concatenated. Okay. So now let's see different method. Now horizontal stack. Okay. Let me give it in comment. Horizontal stack, h stack equals to np dot h stack. Okay. Now pass array 1 comma array 2. Okay. Now print horizontally 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 stacked. Okay. H stacked H stacked. Now vertical stack. Okay. V stacked equals to np dot v stack. Now pass array 1 comma array 2. Okay. So print vertically vertically stacked. Okay. Vertically stacked. So now let's print v stacked. So it's time to run our code. Okay. So now let's run. Okay. So we have concatenated along rows, horizontally stacked and vertically stacked. Okay. So let me. Okay. Okay. So np.concatenate combines array along a specified axis. Axis 0 is rows and axis 1 is columns. np.hstack stack arrays horizontally, combining them side by side. Okay. And the last np.vstack stacks arrays vertically, one on the top of other. Okay. So now let's come to the our last point, that is splitting arrays. Okay. Now let's come to again our VS Code. So now let's understand it by an example. But before, let me write the splitting arrays. Okay. Splitting divides an array into multi sub arrays. Let's see how to do it. So let's write split an array into three parts. Okay, into three parts. So let's see. Split array equals to np dot split. Now pass array. Okay. So array comma 3. Okay. Array we have created above. Okay. So let me show you. So here we have our array. Okay. So now let's print split array into three parts. Okay. Now let's write split array. Okay. So here we have an array which is splitted into three parts. Okay. So here you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3 and and so on. Okay. So np dot split divides the array into equal parts based on the number of splits. Each sub-array is stored as a separate object in a list. So now let's come to our slide. To sum up, in this session we have covered number one is reshaping arrays using dot reshape attribute to change their structure, and second is flattening arrays using dot revel and dot flatten to create 1D representatives, and the third is transposing arrays dot t to swap rows and columns, and fourth is concatenating arrays using np dot concatenate, np dot h stack, and np dot we stack to combine arrays. And last we saw splitting arrays using np.split to break arrays into smaller parts. Okay, each of these operations is essential for effective array manipulation, especially when handling large data sets in data science and machine learning. So practice these examples and soon you will master them. Okay, so now let's come to our next point, that is NumPy mathematics, that is matrix operations. Okay, so now let's understand this. Okay, so now we are going to dive into something very important and fun, that is NumPy mathematics. Okay, specifically we are talking about matrix operations. Trust me, by the end of this session you will feel a lot more confident about handling these operations. So here is the plan that we will cover in this session. Okay, number one is the dot product using np dot. Okay, then after we will see matrix multiplication using and np.matmul. Okay, and then after in the last we will see element wise mathematical functions. Okay, so now let's understand these all one by one. Okay, so for this let's come to our VS Code. Okay, and let's give the markdown, or we can say heading. I am going to give matrix operations. Okay, now let's run. So the number one we are going to see is dot product. Okay, so let me give dot product. Okay, the dot product is a key operation in linear algebra, and in NumPy we use the np dot dot function to calculate it. So here is the example. Okay, so now let's see. So now let's first of all we have to define a 1D array. Okay, so let's create a variable vector a. Okay, equals to np dot array. Now pass np dot now write 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now make another array vector b. Okay, equals to np dot array. Now pass 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, now let's compute dot product. Okay, let me write compute dot product. Okay, so let's write dot product equals to np dot dot now vector a comma vector b. Okay, so now let's print dot product. Now let's write dot product. Okay, so now let's run this cell. Okay, so we have 12. Okay, so now let's break it down for you. Okay, we define a 1D array, vector a and vector b. Okay, think of this as simple list. Okay, now comes the main part. np dot vector, inside we passed vector a comma vector b. This calculates the dot product. For 1D arrays it is essential multiplying corresponding elements and summing them up. Okay, and finally we print the result. Okay, and that's it. So now let's come to the our second topic. Okay, that is matrix multiplication. Okay, using @ and np dot mat mul. Okay. Now, this is slightly different from dot product. When you are working with 2D arrays or matrices, let's see how we can perform matrix multiplication using two methods. Okay, the add operator and the np.matpul function. Okay, so first of all, let's define a 2D arrays. Okay, define 2D arrays. Okay, matrix equals to np.array. Now pass 1 comma 2 3 comma 4. Okay, now let's make matrix B equals to np dot array. Now pass 5 comma 6. Okay, and 7 comma 8. So we have created 2D array. So now let's see matrix multiplication using at the rate. Okay, matrix multiplication using at the rate. Okay, so let me make a variable in which we will store result 8. Okay, equals to matrix A at the rate matrix B. Okay, now print matrix multiplication matrix multiplication. Okay, now print result 8. Okay, result 8. So now let's use another method, matrix multiplication using np dot mat mul. Okay, so let's make a variable result mat mul equals to np dot mat mul. Okay, so now let's pass matrix A comma matrix B. Okay, so now let's print matrix multiplication np dot matmul. Okay, so now let's pass result. Okay, matmul. Okay, so it's time to run our code. Okay, so now let's run. Okay, so you can see that we got the same answer. Okay, so now let's understand what happened. We start by defining 2 by 2 matrices, matrix A and matrix B. Imagine these as grid of numbers. Then after, to multiply the matrices, we use the at the rate operator. This does the multiplication for us. Alternatively, we can use np.matmul method. Both methods give the same result. For matrix multiplication, each element in the result matrix is the sum of product of corresponding elements from a row in the first matrix and a column in the second. So now let's move on to the some more fun stuff now. Okay, so now we are going to see element wise mathematical functions. Okay, so now we are at the last stage of NumPy. Okay, NumPy allows us to perform element wise operations on arrays. This means we can apply a function to each individual elements in the array. So let me show you a few examples. So first of all, we are going to see exponential function. Okay, that is np dot. Okay, so now let's create array equals to np dot array. Now pass 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now let's apply exponential function. Okay, apply exponential. Okay, apply exponential function. So now let's create a variable x array equals to np dot array np dot x. Now pass the array. Okay, near. So now let's print exponential of array. Okay, now pass x array. Okay, so now let's run the cell. So we got the result as 2 comma 7.1 and 7.1 and 20.08. Okay, so here what happens, we define an array 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, and then np.x function calculates for each element in the array. Okay, and the result in a new array with these values. Okay, so now let's calculate the natural logarithm. So let me give the, now we are going to see natural logarithm, that is np.log. Okay, log array equals to, log array equals to np.log array. Okay, np.log array. Now print natural log of array. Okay, array. So now let's pass log array. Okay, so now let's run the cell. So we got the natural log of array. Okay, so now let's understand what happens. The np.log function computes the natural log for each element in the array. Again, the result is an array with values. So now let's find the square root. Okay, so now we are going to see square root. Okay, square root. Okay, so we are going to find the square root. Okay, so first of all, let's create a variable squared array. Okay, now np dot squared. Okay, now pass the array. Okay, okay, now let's print square, let me, square root of an array. Okay, square root of an array. So now let's print square array. Okay, so now let's run this cell. Okay, so we got our result. So now you can see that here we have our array and this is the our square root of our array. Okay, so the np.square function calculates the square root of each element. Okay, so now let's come to the our next function, that is power function. Okay, now we are going to see power function, lastly raising each elements to a power. So now let's apply power function. Power array equals to np dot power. Now let's pass array comma 3. Okay, now let's print array to the power of 3. Okay, power of 3. Now let's print power array. So now let's run. Okay. So now we got the array of power of 3. Okay. So the np.power function raises each element to the specified power of 3 to the specified power. Here we use 3. Okay. So the result is an array of these powers. So now let's come to our conclusion. Okay. So okay. Alright, so let's quickly recap what we have learned. So the first we learned dot product. We used np.dot to compute the dot product of an array. Then after we saw matrix multiplication, in which we explored two methods, at the rate operator and the np.matmul. Okay. And the lastly we saw element wise functions, in which we applied exponential, logarithmic, square root and power operation to arrays. So these operations are foundational in many areas like machine learning, data analysis and numerical computation. So I encourage you to try this example and experiment with your own data. So we have completed our NumPy. So if you found this session helpful, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to Technology Hub. Okay, thank you.